Let's be honest. Most projects don't fail because of a fancy schedule. They fail because somebody said one thing in a meeting and somebody else heard another thing. And you know how that goes. Nobody even took the time to write anything down. Does that sound familiar? I had just been told that my project priorities were shifting. Translation, drop everything. That's how now all hands on deck, meaning that the timeline was aggressive. Why? Because new resources were about to come on board and the current team couldn't sit idle. If this project slipped, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was going to cost the company money and contracts and leave people collecting dust where there's nowhere to go. On paper, the construction side of the project had a project manager, but there was one problem. No one really had engaged the business side in time. And to make matters worse, the project manager who should have been leading this initiative was still too deep in another project that was just as critical. So picture this, family. I step into the middle of a project, no documentation, no context, no roadmap. I felt like being dropped into a movie halfway through and somebody tapping me and saying, "Hey, what's the plot of this movie?" And let's be real. What do most project managers do when that moment hits? They get frustrated. They mutter, "Why me?" Maybe even considering a career switch and something less stressful, or maybe something like bird watching. Okay, confession time. I did all of that. But here's the turning point. None of that was going to get the project delivered. Complaining doesn't move deadlines. So I went to work. I started interviewing everyone involved. What were their expectations? What had they learned about the vendor so far? Where were the gaps? And to structure it, I used a simple framework: start, stop, continue. What do we need to start doing right away? And what do we need to stop doing before it sinks us? And what should we continue doing because it actually works? See, that little framework didn't just get me up to speed. It gave me the right questions to ask and the confidence to turn a scattered conversation into a clear, formalized plan. And the resolution, those conversations became the turning point. The business side of the project, which was struggling to gain traction, finally had clarity, finally had alignment. The schedule was still important, but it wasn't what saved us. The conversations did. Projects don't fail in schedules, they fail in conversations.